Hello everyone, this is Postcode 24/7 and here we are one more time with the latest. So let's talk about the match last night. But if you look at my previous video, I was like Crawford would win this, but it won't be easy. But Crawford proved me wrong. It was very easy for him. But as long as I got my predictions right, it doesn't really matter though. I told you all that Crawford would win, and that's what he did. So the unbeaten WBO light welterweight champion, Crawford, boxed well, but at the same time was very, very boring. 12th round unanimous decision over, you know, WBC champion Viktor Postol on last night. At the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada. The judges' scores were 118 to 107. But Crawford did well, but he knocked Postol down twice in the round 5 in flash knockdowns, in which Postol gloves touched the canvas. Like I say, I'm a big Crawford fan. I really believe he's one of the best. He's going to be one of the best, and he's gifted. He's very quick on his feet. He can box, but if and but at the same time, last night it was very boring match. It was a boring match. If you've seen the match, you would know. This was the this was easily the probably the most boring fight I've ever seen at light welterweight. Those fighters are usually quite talented and aggressive. While Crawford did look talented, his running around the ring all night was just plain off-putting, man. For $60 on HBO pay-per-view, I expected a lot more. Just like everybody else, I didn't pay to see Crawford run all day. Crawford, Viktor Postol, lost a point for hitting Crawford, with a punch to the back of the head in round 11. Crawford had done the same, thing in the round 3 without referee Tony Weeks taking a point off. But like I say, it was one of those kinds of fight. Unfortunately for Postol, he couldn't get a break. Fight was pretty much boring as Crawford chose to circle the ring for the entire fight rather than pressing the attack. Crawford spent most of the fight waiting for Viktor Postol to initiate so he could counter him when he missed. It was a typical counter punching type of fight. When Floyd Mayweather fought like that, he at least had the speed to land pot shots and he was willing to stand in the pocket and fight. Whereas Crawford didn't do anything, didn't do much of that tonight. He was too busy moving and making it boring. Even the fans, they booed Crawford in the 12th round due to him choosing to play it safe and run. But like I say, it's boxing. Hit and don't get hit. So you can't blame Crawford. He did what he had to do. He wanted to win, and that's what he did. But it was pretty much boring, I think. I think Bob Arum needs to sit down with Crawford and speak to him because people don't want to see people pay it was a pay-per-view fight, but we don't want to see a boring fight like this. This was supposed to be the fight that earned Crawford a big payday matchup against Manny Pacquiao. Personally, I don't think Crawford earned that fight with this performance tonight, but because it's just too safety first and boring. And I can't see boxing fans wanting to purchase Crawford fight on HBO pay-per-view in the future if that's what Bob Arum plans to do. But it is what it is. I understand Crawford was showing his boxing skills, but this was a pay-per-view fight, and most people wanted him to do more. There are some times in a fight when you can't, but this fight wasn't one of them. Crawford had the talent and ability to give the fans a little more than that. Even though he won, I think he lost some of the fan support. Another thing, Roach trained all his fight the same way, always constant pressure. That hurt Postol cause he was slower and he couldn't get set to hit the Crawford. Roach showed off, used his height. Postol had I think he had a bad training camp to be honest. I'm not gonna talk about what's next for Terence Crawford, but most likely it's gonna be Manny Pacquiao because I think that's the only fight. Or Manny Pacquiao is coming back sometime in November, so yeah, I think that's it. That's pretty much it. But personally, I would rather see Manny Pacquiao fight somebody else, maybe Danny Garcia, but Danny Garcia doesn't want to fight Manny Pacquiao. Adrian Broner doesn't want to fight Manny Pacquiao. Why not fight Amir Khan? I think Amir Khan versus Manny Pacquiao would be a great fight. Keith Thurman called out Manny Pacquiao, but I don't think Keith Thurman should fight Manny Pacquiao next because I want to see Keith Thurman have a soft touch before he fight Manny Pacquiao. That's my opinion. But Terence Crawford, personally would say I don't want to see it because I don't want to see. It's gonna be a boring fight. Manny Pacquiao will be chasing him, all fight, just like he chased my Floyd Mayweather. But it is what it is, guys. My boy won. I think he should take notes and he do something special, in his next fight because people, if that's a pay per view fight, if it was a pay per view fight and people want to see actions, some kind of toe to toe. But it is what it is. Hats off to Terence Crawford, for the win. I'm like I say, I'm one of his fans, but at the same time, props to Viktor Postol. I hope he comes back stronger. Let me know, guys, what you think, and if you have anything to say, leave me a comment. Stay tuned to Sportscore 24/7. God bless.